What's up, everyone? KJ3 here, and staff changes. They're just a part of college football, whether your team is good or whether your team is bad. And last year's Gators team is no different. That offense was really good, and that defense was just bad. Honestly. But we did make staff changes and some changes we didn't make that I would like to go over with you. So without further ado, let's get to it. Now, I know that the number one question on everyone's mind right now is, why is Todd Grantham still our defensive coordinator? I really wish I had an easy answer for you. All I do know is we were top in the NCAA in quarterback hurries last year. We led the SEC in sacks, and we were third in the SEC with penalties and penalty yards per game. So you got to look for a silver lining in that defense because it was such a bad defense last year. But I can see why more of the blame was put on the secondary and the secondary coaches, and that's what we'll be getting to in this next coach hire. But Todd Grantham, still our DC for now, more on that later. Which brings me to our first new coach hire. Out with the old in Torian Gray, in with the new in Jules Montaner to coach cornerbacks. Because everyone knows last year's corners outside of Elam, who made first team All-SEC, our corners were terrible last year. Just terrible. Mullen decided unacceptable. Fired Torian Gray, who appeared to be more of a zone-based scheme coach, and brought in Jules Montaner from South Florida. He was the DBs and the recruiting coordinator down there, and he appears to be more of a man-to-man based coach, which brings us back to our roots of being DBU, of playing lockdown man-to-man coverage, something that I'm really excited about, and also something that I'm very excited about. I did mention he was the recruiting coordinator. He's hitting the recruiting trail very hard. These high school recruits seem to be responding to him very well. Trust me when I tell you that he is still involved in a lot of the top targets that we still have remaining for this class of 22. So far in the recruiting portion of his job, he gets 2 thumbs up from me. Cannot wait to see how it translates on the field. Now, as bad as our corners were at times last year, pretty sure our safeties are a little bit worse. So, out with the old, Ron English, goodbye. In with the new, Coach McGriff, Coach Crime. Now, Ron English, man, whether it was the 4-man safety rotation, playing guys out of position, or just the general lack of understanding the scheme that Todd Grantham was trying to run, or shoes, I really have no idea what went wrong. And you know what? Dan Mullen just decided, goodbye, man. And I honestly felt that this was the coaching switch that we needed to make the most and was the most important one to make. I feel that we knocked this hire out of the park because Coach Crime prefers to run defensive schemes that we've been known for in the past. Be aggressive, but also be technically disciplined. And Coach Crime's coached a lot of talent throughout his stops in his career. He has produced 4 All-Americans and also gotten 2 people drafted in the first round of the NFL draft in his stints at Miami, Ole Miss, and Auburn. So he has a proven track record of turning around bad defenses in the first 2 years too. So expect a dramatic change in our safety play. With that all being said, I think this is a fantastic hire, not only because it fits our defensive scheme a whole lot better, but he's an excellent recruiter as well. Now, this next one, losing Brian Johnson's going to hurt a little bit. I'm not sure if Gator Nation really knows how instrumental he was for the development of Felipe Franks, Kyle Trask, and Emory Jones, and the other quarterbacks we have on our roster. But losing Brian Johnson to the Philadelphia Eagles is going to hurt. But the person that we have to replace him, who was our off-field analyst last year, Garrick Mcgee, is more than qualified to be our quarterback's coach. And I'll be the first one to admit, I was not a fan of the Garrick Mcgee promotion from off-field analyst to quarterback coach when it initially happened. It took me digging onto his resume to really figure out how qualified he is. And I'll tell you what, Gator Nation, this man is qualified. He was at Arkansas when Ryan Mallett was breaking 45 school records. He was at Louisville in Lamar Jackson's first year. And also when he was at Northwestern in 2007, they led the Big Ten in passing. Northwestern. This guy is a good coach. And this last staff hire that we have, Tyson Summers, he was the defensive coordinator at Colorado last year. And I'll tell you what, looking through his resume and where he's been, there is one thing that is glaringly apparent. He can scheme up third down and fourth down defenses. In 2020 alone, he had one of the best defenses in the Pac-12 with Colorado, leading the Pac-12 in tackles for loss, second in sacks, and 13th in the nation in third down defense. Not to mention in 2014, when he was at UCF, he had the #1 defense in the AAC. This guy is a third down wizard, all right? Expect our third down and fourth down defense to get so much better with him on our staff. So those are the 4 new coaches that we have to our Florida Gators staff. Like I said, we lost Brian Johnson to Philly, but Garrick Mcgee should be more than qualified to be the quarterback coach there. We almost lost C-Rob, our linebackers coach, to Michigan, but we decided to give him a raise, and that looks like it's already paying off in getting a commit from Shamar James out of Alabama. If you need to know more on him, go ahead and check out my last video. And then also, Todd Grantham. The gloves are off, man. There's no one else to hide behind. Like, this is it. This is it. I fully expect this to just be a resume year for him. I really don't see him being our defensive coordinator past this year because Mullen placed blame on the secondary. He fired the coaches. He hired new coaches. He hired coaches to fit the scheme that he wants to run better. It's all up to Grantham now to implement this and to bring us back to having a top defense. Otherwise, goodbye. And that goes for John Hevsey and Greg Knox, our O-line and running back coach as well, especially Greg Knox. Like, in the past, you could make the argument the talent's not in the running back room. No, we have 5-star galore talent in the running back room now. Like, if Greg Knox doesn't do something really good with the running backs, I'm going to be looking at him and be like, time to go. And with John Hevsey, like, I'm really hoping that these new staffers are going to really, really help in the recruiting game and help out John Hevsey get some top talent, because I'm tired of really not getting more than one top 300 offensive lineman every year. We need to do better. And the SEC, you need better to consistently win. Like, it's not good enough. So, Hevsey, you got to step it up too, man. Those are the 2 that I got my eyeballs on from now on, them and Todd Grantham. Like, Dan Mullen has starting to show that he's not remaining as loyal to his boys if his boys aren't producing. And that was one of the big knocks that we had on him whenever he first got to UF. But we see that mentality in him and realizing what it takes to win, and he's willing to change that, which that's always a great sign to see from your head coach, the fact that he wants the program to get better. He still wants to stay here at Florida and win. He's not just looking for another job somewhere. Like, he's adamant with the administration about changes because we need them. And that's it. That is our current 2021 Florida Gators football staff. Changes were made. Changes hopefully still to come next off season, but I'm waiting to see the changes on the field from the personnel that we just hired, because my heart cannot take another defense like the 2020 Gators defense, all right? I expect that defense to be better. Look out for my video on my realistic expectations for the offense and defense. That will be coming out soon. Gold Cup's just getting underway, everyone, so look forward to live streams on my channel, post-match breakdowns for our Gold Cup squad as we are getting ready for World Cup qualification and everything. Y'all, like I said, I want to start doing USA soccer again. Finally got my soccer heart back. Anyways, thank y'all for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe right up here, and any of my other videos, live streams, other content right down there. And as always, it's KJ3 signing off. Go Gators!